Good morning students. Today I shall be discussing about the password field and dialog boxes. So let's start with the password field control. The password field control is used to develop a login form. So here is an example of a login form. The user has to type his username in the text field and his password in this password field. The password field looks similar to the text field. The only difference between the text field and the password field is that in the text field, the typed in characters gets displayed, whereas in the password field, the typed in characters get masked. Now this is the way how the typed in characters gets masked. The masking character used here is the dot. So the actual password characters that the user types does not get displayed. What gets displayed is the masking character, which veils the original character. Now say for example, if your password is ABC123, then the exact text ABC123 will not get displayed in this password field. Instead, this password character, which is this black dot, corresponding to your password ABC123, shall only get displayed. Now in this example, the password character, which is the masking character for your original password, is the black dot. But you can even use a different password character, such as the question mark, the dollar symbol, the asterisk symbol, and etc. But in most cases, the asterisk is used as a password character. So whatever password character you use, that particular password character shall mask your original password. Now in this particular login form, if the user types the correct username and the correct password and then hits the OK button, then he shall see this message that is, welcome, you have logged in successfully. And this message gets displayed in this message box. Now there is a class that represents this password field. The name of that class is XIChap6part4are field. So XIChap6part4are field represents a text box where the typed text appears in a different character, asterisk in most of the cases, rather than the original text. So XIChap6part4are field is the class which represents this text box shaped control, which is also known as the password field control. And the original password text is masked with this password character. Now we all are familiar with entering password while logging into our computer or checking emails. Now this is one such interface that can be used for entering the password and logging into the computer. Now let's discuss about the methods of the XIChap6part4are field class. The first method is the getPassword method. This method of the XIChap6part4are field class is used to retrieve the typed text from the password field. So whatever password the user enters in this password field, using the getPassword method, the user can retrieve the typed in password. The return type of this method is an array of characters. Now the password that the user might set may not be of one character. It might be of several characters. That's why this get password method, which is used to retrieve the typed in password from the password field, will return an array of characters. Then see the next method of the JPassword field class. This is the setEchoChar method. This method takes one argument C of data type char. Here, this argument C, which is of data type char, denotes the echo character or the password character. In this case, the echo character used here is the black dot. So when the user enters the text into a password field, it prints the character set in EchoChar property instead of the originally entered character. So in this case, the originally entered character has been masked with this echo character. And it is this echo character which is known as the password character. Now let's come to the next topic, which is the dialog box. The examples of dialog boxes can be the message boxes, the confirmation dialog boxes, and the input dialog boxes. Now there is a class that can be used to display a message box on the screen. The name of that class is the XIChap6part4are class. Now here is a message box. Okay, so this rectangular shaped box is the message box, which is displaying the message XIChap6part4are message, and there is a button inside it. Okay, this button is the OK button. So this figure is an example of a message box, and the class that can be used this type of a message box is the XIChap6part4are class. Now in addition to the message boxes, this class can also be used to display the confirmation dialog box as well as the input dialog box on the screen. Now here is an example of a confirmation dialog box. It has three buttons: yes, no, and cancel. The message that gets displayed is, are you sure you want to exit? Now the user has to confirm by clicking on yes, no, or cancel. If the user clicks on yes, it will exit. If the user clicks on no, then it will not exit. And if the user clicks on cancel, then it will close this confirmation dialog. So both these dialog boxes, that is this confirmation dialog box as well as this message dialog box, they are represented with the help of the XIChap6part4are class. Now let's discuss about the different methods of the XIChap6part4are class. The first one is the show message dialog. This method displays a message dialog box. It takes two parameters. The first parameter is the container frame and the second parameter is the message text. So here is this show message dialog method inside the XIChap6part4are class, and this is represented as XIChap6part4are.showMessageDialog. This is the first parameter, okay, which is the container frame. Since they haven't used any container frame, so it is set to null. That means there is no container frame. Okay, and the second parameter shows the message text. Okay, so the second parameter, which is the message text, okay, the text displayed here is welcome. So on executing this method, you can see the displayed text as welcome as in this message box. Then the next method of the XIChap6part4are class is the show confirm dialog. This method displays a confirmation dialog box with yes, no, and cancel button. It returns 0, 1 or two integer values for the button clicked respectively. That means it will return 0 if the user clicks on the yes button. It will return 1 if the user clicks on the no button, and then it will return 2 if the user clicks on the cancel button. So here is this method show confirm dialog. It takes two parameters. The first parameter is the container frame. Okay, at present there is no container frame, so it has been set to null. The second parameter is the message text. Okay, now like in the previous method, the message text was welcome, isn't it? So in a similar way, in this method the message text is are you sure you want to exit. Now note one thing, that you can also use the term argument to denote parameter. That means argument and parameter denotes the same thing. Okay, that is, they mean the same thing. That's why I use the word argument here, okay, while explaining the method show message dialog. So you can say that this method, which is show message dialog, consists of two arguments, that is null as the container frame and the message text welcome. Or you can also put it like that: this method, that is show message dialog, consists of two parameters, okay, which is null as the container frame and the message text welcome. In the same way, this method, that is show confirm dialog, takes two parameters, okay, or you can say it takes two arguments. Okay, the first parameter or the first argument is null. This is because I haven't set any container frame. And the second argument or the second parameter is the message text, which is are you sure you want to exit. Now see, this method, that is show confirm dialog, is different from the previous method, which is show message dialog. This is because the show confirm dialog method shall display three buttons: the yes, no and the cancel button. So this is an example of the confirmation dialog, which consists of the yes, no and the cancel button. And this is the message text, which is are you sure you want to exit. But the message dialog consists of only a single button, okay, which is the OK button, and the displayed text, which is the message text, is the welcome. That is because of the message text welcome that you have set here. Then the next type of method is the show input dialog method. This method displays an input dialog during the runtime. It takes one parameter of type object and returns the entered value as string. So here is this show input dialog method. Since this method belongs to the JOptionPane class, so it is represented as JOptionPane dot show input dialog. Okay, and this text within inverted quote is the text which is asking the user to enter his age. So this text enter your age represents a message text for the user asking him to enter his age in the input box.